Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's March 30th, 2017. This evening, one of the big headlines: a fire in Atlanta, Georgia has caused a section of their most trafficked interstate to collapse. That is Interstate 85. And what I'm going to show you in this video is that this fire was set on purpose, and it is truly a ritual that has everything to do with the fact Atlanta is hosting Super Bowl 53. Today's news on Interstate 85 comes 53 days after the Falcons lost in Super Bowl 51. Just real quick, in the language of gematria, Atlanta, Georgia equals 85, like National Football League. This is not the first time I've shown how an interstate news story is connected to the NFL. If you go back to October of 2015, at the end of that month, there was a story out of Los Angeles about a single car accident that shut down a freeway for hours because the driver was supposedly ejected out of their rear window and landed on a freeway sign. They had to shut down the freeway in California for hours. The body was on a sign that said Colorado Street. You can go back and watch my video from 2015. I showed how that story was a coded tribute to the Denver Broncos and how they were going to win the Super Bowl. And as that season went on, I showed how they would defeat the Carolina Panthers, Von Miller would be the MVP, and more. And all of those things happened. Today's news has everything to do with the NFL, the city of Atlanta, and the fact that they're hosting Super Bowl 53 with their new stadium that is to open next year. Atlanta will be hosting Super Bowl 53 February 3rd, 2019. They have a brand new stadium next season. They're going to sell more tickets because their team just went to the Super Bowl. Now, Interstate 85 burns as part of the ongoing ritual. And I have a few other thoughts about this incident, which we'll talk about. Today's date, March 30th, 3 plus 30 is 33. Atlanta on the 33rd parallel, the 84th meridian. Remember, the Falcons have now lost in Super Bowl 33 and 51. You add those numbers together, it sums to 84. In the language of gematria, the word Jesuit equals 84. Remember, the Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, gave a short speech about this year's Super Bowl. The first time the Pope ever addressed the Super Bowl. It was exactly 51 days from his birthday to the Super Bowl. The owner of the Falcons, Arthur Blank, is born September 27th, which is the Jesuit order's birthday. See my work on the Catholic Church, the Jesuits, professional sports, collegiate sports, scripted sports. This is bigger than the Atlanta Falcons. These rituals go on all over the world. As I just explained, there was a ritual in California for the Denver Broncos to win the Super Bowl later that year in the same state. The 49ers, the San Francisco team, hosted the Super Bowl the year of the Colorado Street freeway news story that foreshadowed the success to come. Also, with regards to 53, this story coming 53 days after Super Bowl 51. Remember, that was played February 5th. For you Falcons fans who haven't seen my work on the Super Bowl, before it was played, I showed why the Patriots would win, why it was all about the number 25 on 2/5. I showed that if the Patriots won the Super Bowl, it would be the 25th AFC Super Bowl win all time. It would be Tom Brady's 25th playoff win. On 2/5, it was also the 97th season of the NFL. The name Bill Belichick in gematria equals 97. 97 is the 25th prime number. Lo and behold, the Patriots did win, but they also came back from 28-3 in the very rigged and scripted finish where the Falcons did all they could to get the Patriots back in the game. 28-3, check your halftime performer Lady Gaga, born March 28th, 28/3. Check the Simpsons cartoon. The day Tom Brady came back from his suspension, the episode of The Simpsons that Sunday was about Tom Brady and the Patriots called The Town. It was season 28, episode 3, 28-3 comeback. All scripted, all ritual. This is how the gang that runs the show operates. This gang is Freemasonry. They run your government, your media, your sports leagues, all your entertainment, Hollywood, your money. This is who the trademark is. Again, 53, special number to the NFL too. 53-man roster in the NFL. 53 is the 16th prime number. The Falcons went to the Super Bowl at the end of the 2016 season, 2016-17. Also, today, this fire, March 30th, it's the 89th day of the year. The word religion has gematria 53 and 89, and Freemasonry very much is a religion, you know, based in esoteric knowledge, spirituality. So, also regarding Super Bowls, the Falcons were just in one. This is about how they're hosting Super Bowl 53. Interstate has gematria 41 and 131, just like Super Bowl. And I was pointing this out in 2015 after the tribute to the body on Colorado Street. You know, the Interstate burned down. Interstate 85. Just one more time. Atlanta, Georgia 85, National Football League. The NFL, born in Chicago. The Chicago Bears, the only team left in Chicago, have not won a Super Bowl since the 85 season. You know? We just saw Ron Rivera, who was on that 85 team, coach the Panthers to the same win and loss record and then lose in the Super Bowl. All things I was talking about before it happened. Also, Atlanta Falcons has gematria of 139, like Interstate. So does the word Freemasonry. 139, very special number in this study. The Patriots, coming back from 28-3 to win. They won with 34 points. 139 is the 34th prime number. It was Tom Brady's 34th playoff game. His playoff record is now 25-9, winning with 34 points. And go back and watch my work from the NFL season. I was showing how 34 was a huge number in the playoffs. Piedmont. I see that Piedmont has the gematria of 42. I want to see what other gematria Piedmont has real quick. Piedmont is where the fire's at. Piedmont. 42. 42 and 96 are the numbers of the Freemasons. Piedmont. Interesting. I'd like to know more about this Piedmont area. If you're in the Atlanta area and you got some information for me, I'm sure there's a lot more to this. I want to know how they burned this freeway down. USA Today and CNN didn't say how. USA Today, just before I started this video, said they're still waiting to find out. So anyway, I'll link all this below. Today, to the start of the upcoming NFL season, where Atlanta will have their new stadium open, is 161 days. 161 is a lot like 1.61, which is the golden ratio in mathematics. It's called phi. It has to do with the Fibonacci sequence. Today, March 30th, is the 89th day of the year. 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number. Phi, very related to the Fibonacci sequence. This is another important component in what we're talking about. This esoteric knowledge of numbers, coding numbers into words, doing things ritualistically by the numbers. 161 days until the start of the upcoming NFL season, the opening of the new stadium. Here was the latest from USA Today, not being sure about what caused it. I was pointing out that now that Tom Brady's beaten the Falcons, he's beaten the Eagles and the Seahawks as well. There's only 4 teams with bird names, and the one remaining is the Arizona Cardinals. Last year, Tom Brady began his season in Arizona. Well, the Patriots did. Tom Brady was suspended, right? All part of the show. As I explained, week 1. The only bird team left to beat are the Cardinals. The Falcons and the Cardinals are the only 2 teams on the 33rd parallel. For the playoffs, the city of Atlanta had the Rise Up thing going on, which reminded me of a phoenix rising out of the ashes. And as someone who's lived in Phoenix, everyone knows that's the hot pavement city. And I'm just thinking about the burning of a freeway, you know, rituals, tributes, foreshadowing. There's more homework to do here, but the Arizona Cardinals, they play in Glendale, the suburb of Phoenix, on the 33rd parallel. Glendale also equals 33. It's the hot pavement city. I also noticed that Phoenix in gematria sums to 98. You know, next year's the 98th season. Could we see the Cardinals in the Super Bowl next year? And could we also see it against Tom Brady? Entirely possible. We could also end up seeing the Cardinals and the Patriots facing off 2 years from now in Super Bowl 53 in Arizona. That could also be what the riddle is. So that's why we have a lot more homework to do, but we're just paying attention to what they're giving us. In case you're new to my work, this type of news, it's nothing new, and we're going to see a lot more of it before the NFL season begins. With all of your major sports and collegiate sports leagues, there's ritualistic news stories that are created. They're typically not this severe, though. This is pretty major, burning down a section of freeway. So, I don't know if they have some engineering plan to improve this, and that's also part of the reason they did it, but this will be a rebuilding contract for somebody at the expense of the taxpayer. But I have no doubt this is purposeful, this is ritualistic, this has everything to do with the Atlanta Falcons and the Super Bowl they'll be hosting. The story might also be cluing us in to who's next in terms of Super Bowl appearances. The Raiders, if you missed my work on why the Raiders were announced moving to Vegas, Las Vegas equals 86. It was the 86th day of the year the Raiders were announced. It was foreshadowed in a Looney's album from 2002, where the song Oakland Raiders for the chorus has from Los Angeles to the Bay to Las Vegas. 15 years ago, the song made before the Raiders moved to Vegas. All this stuff is planned out way in advance. Again, these rituals, they don't just happen overnight. This stuff's all mapped out. This burning of the road, it's been planned. If anyone can get me any information, anyone in Atlanta can fill me in some more about the fire, I'll appreciate it. Down below in the description, I'm going to link this old blog post. This is November 3rd, 2015, when I first showed, and I made a video too, which you can go back and watch, about the man's body on the freeway overpass at Colorado Street, the coding for the Denver Broncos, so much more. Again, California freeway, they were hosting the Super Bowl north of this later that same season. Also, for you Falcons fans, the new stadium. The new stadium opening for the 98th season of the NFL, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, has gematria of 98. You know, I have a feeling we're going to see Tom Brady playing another Super Bowl there. Beats the Falcons, and then I think this will be his final Super Bowl. He'll be 41 years old. The word Super Bowl equals 41. You know, the whole league's a scripted joke. Just like the comeback against the Falcons. Just watch. If we the people haven't woken up the masses and put an end to this charade, by then you're going to see Tom Brady in that building for Super Bowl 53. And it's going to be a joke. He's going to be throwing wounded ducks like Peyton Manning. Yeah, also in the playoffs, I remember one of the sick jokes by Joe Buck about how the Falcons have never been to the top of the mountaintop. That's Martin Luther King Jr.'s last speech, April 3rd, 1968, before being shot the next day. At least so we're told. So I'll link all this down below, all this information, Truth Seeker. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, check out my videos. Lots of information to check out. Till next time.